Good morning. So I am back at Bonchurch Garage. My poor little Citroen C1, which obviously I'm living in, has gone wrong again. The power steering failed this morning. It had been making some clicking noises over the last couple of days. When I turned the engine off, after about a minute or two, this clicking noise starts somewhere in the engine. And I was thinking that would be the cooling system, the fan or something, not kicking in. But seems it might have been something to do with the power steering, which has now stopped working. So dropped the little car off, and now I'm going to walk back into Ventnor and get a cup of coffee. It's about 10 in the morning. Question is, which way do I walk? Let's dither a bit, looking at the sign before I decide. Shall I walk up Madeira Road over there, or do I go over here and drop down onto the seafront, the esplanade, and walk along there? Let's do that. I don't think the tide is out, so we're not going to see the rocky shoreline, which might have waders on, but I haven't got my big camera. I've basically left most of my, oh, here comes a car. Left virtually everything in the car, so I've got recharging cable and my iPad Air. Left my knackered MacBook in there, so I'm going to have to work for the iPad Air, which will be a good experiment today, because I need to replace the MacBook. What I've been wondering is whether to get a £1,000, crazy money, £1,000 MacBook Air, the new one, the M4 chip, or minimise even further and go for an iPad Pro 11-inch with a Magic Keyboard, which will cost about £1,200. Stupid money. But luckily on my account with Amazon I can pay monthly, so it'll end up being about £180 a month for the MacBook Air. Sorry, for both. They're roughly the same amount over, what is it, 5 months or whatever it is. So it wouldn't be too debilitating. But that cost, on top of the cost of keeping the car on the road, I have to confess I've been looking at vans the last few days. So if this little car starts to play up, I think I'll just, oh, lovely blackbird there. If it does start to play up, I'll just go and buy another Berlingo maybe. There are a couple of Berlingos I've been looking at, both under £1,000, so I could probably get 2 Berlingos for the price of a iPad Pro 11-inch. So buy a house for half the price of buying a iPad Pro. But of course, my long-term financial situation does depend on having a computer, because that's how I'm going to be generating my income. So I've got to get back into Ventnor and get a coffee and get to work. I've already had a coffee this morning because I took the car into garage about 10 AM. So I went to Bessie's and Spinky's for 45 minutes before picking up the car. Yeah, it was interesting driving it without power steering. I clearly need to rebuild my upper body strength. When I say rebuild, I mean build, because I've never had upper body strength. And that would be useful for all manner of reasons, having some upper body strength. Not least just staying reasonably flexible and kind of mobile and strong as I get older. What I don't want to do is degenerate quickly and have a hunched back and no strength and start fumbling about. I just don't want that. I want to stay as fit and healthy for as long as I can, especially if I'm scrambling in and out of a very tiny vehicle. Tell me in the comments section if you think I should just go for it and get a bigger van. So I've got just about, so I could probably afford up to about £3,000 at the moment for a vehicle. I'd rather spend less than that. Trouble is, a bigger van You know, they're normally 9, 10, 11 grand. I just don't have that sort of money. At the moment, I am saving reasonably rapidly because I'm still doing this 9 till 5 job in Dorset. So I'm accumulating funds in my bank account. So the little book I've been writing is basically setting out how I'm building this location independent lifestyle. And in there are some sums about how much I spend every day and how much less I want to be spending every day. And therefore how much I need to earn both to cover my daily costs and to put money aside constantly as I go forward. So I want to be able to put money aside every month, not only now whilst I'm working this full-time job, but also once I build up the side hustles and when I'm relying on those as my only sources of income, then I want to still be able to save a reasonable amount of money every month. It's ridiculous how little this YouTube channel is actually earning me at the moment. It's about £1 a day, but it's £1, you know. It's something to build on. It's my biggest source of side income. So my books. I've sold 2 books so far this month, and it's mid-April. So that's about £3 in earnings so far, the last 15 odd days of April. But when I've got 10 or 15 books that I'm selling, if I sell 2 or 3 of those a day, then it becomes a useful bit of income from the book writing. Just coming down to Bonchurch Pottery now. Try not to get run over by this truck. So I just need to get into town quite quickly now, so I'm not going to hang around. Just get a fleeting distance glimpse of Monk's Bay over there. If I can get the gimbal to turn around, that's better. And there's Monk's Bay. Let's walk down this way quite speedily. Had a nice black red start at the harbour this morning, Ventnor Haven. Spring migrant black red start. Been quite a few of them around on the island, the Isle of Wight this year. Or this spring, I mean, so far. Migrant birds going through. They're one of our rarest breeding birds, but we do get a few on migration at coastal spots like this, really. So yeah, with my book writing, I'm kind of focused on short books. So the van life or car life, van life, whatever you want to call it, book that I'm writing at the moment, which is mainly for you people who are watching my channel, that one will be about 20,000 words, which I suppose is about 100 pages. So a short book, but that's actually relatively long compared to some of the books I'm writing. So I'm writing various little monographs for species. So a book on the seal bunting and a book on the redback shrike, they're going to be shorter, they're going to be about 15,000 words. And I'm writing a guide for farmers on how to do farmland bird friendly management on their farm, and that'll only be 8,000 words probably. So I do specialise in much shorter booklets. My wildlife watching on the Isle of Wight and wildlife watching around Ventnor and bird watching around Ventnor books are only, I think they're about 19,000 words each. The wildlife watching one's a bit longer. But that's the kind of length I specialise in. Definitely no rock pools along here this morning. Few people, so I don't really enjoy walking along this section. Gets quite disturbed. It's a lovely walk, but it does get disturbed because my main purpose in doing these walks is to go bird watching. Disturbance is not a good thing. It's a great spot for seeing the Glanville fritillaries. If you walk along here during May, June, whenever, when they're during their flight period, then the way to see the Glanville fritillaries is to just look at the base here on the other side of this wooden fence. Don't climb over there, just watch from here and you'll see them flitting backwards and forwards in courtship flights and mating and all that sort of stuff, when the adults are adults rather than caterpillars or pupae. So yeah, this is a really good place to see them all the way along from Wheeler's Bay, where we're heading towards, and Bonchurch, where we've just come from, or Monk's Bay. So that's Glanville Fritillary. Nice wallflowers there. Naturalised, I assume. So yeah, that's the book writing. So if I can get 10 to 15 published, and I can sell 1 or 2 of each a day, and each one earns me about £1.80 to £2 a day, or per sale, per book sold. And that begins to, you know, I may earn a £5 a day or something on books, which is a third of, no, hang on a minute. I keep forgetting what my daily spend actually is. I really need to do a proper spreadsheet, try and work it all out. I need an inclusive, fully inclusive daily budget. I think it's probably about £30 a day for absolutely everything. So 1/6, £5 is 1/6, isn't it, of £30, is that right? Yes, it is. And if my YouTube can generate £5 a day, that would be amazing. I've got one channel monetised, which means I get my share of the income that advertisers pay to put adverts on my videos. Got one monetised in that way, and that's the one that earns me about £1 a day. And I'm very close to having or not very close. My second channel is getting towards being monetised as well, which may take me up to £2 a day. Optimistically, I don't think it'll get up to that because the viewership is a lot lower on that channel than this one. So maybe £1.50 a day with 2 channels, which is ridiculously low. There are other van life channels that earn a lot more than I do. But my channel just isn't yet as interesting as those ones. So once I ditch my current job and can put all my effort into videos like this, they're going to become a lot more viewable and attract a lot more views, hopefully, and then the money that I earn from ad revenue ought to go up. I haven't a clue yet by how much. You know, something like £10 a day from my YouTube videos would be amazing. Kind of babbling on a little bit. So, another bit of news, which I've kind of hinted at, is that I'm going to set up a Patreon account, which enables people to join my channel membership, basically. And I'll record extra videos for subscribers to that, members to that channel. Sorry, members to my Patreon account. I'm going to just switch off at the moment while these people go past. This here is a nice little bit of cover for migrant birds. Just a wood pigeon in there at the moment. Wood pigeon. So we are very close to Wheeler's Bay now. Wonder how my little car is going. The guy in the garage said he'll check it all out today so he can diagnose exactly what needs to be done, what the problem is and what needs to be done. Then he's going to have to order some parts in, so I'll be able to have it back this evening, so I've got somewhere to sleep. And then take it back in tomorrow with any luck, assuming he can get the parts in quickly enough. Couriered in, presumably. He's very kind in Bonchurch Garage. He's always expedited jobs for me because he knows I live in the vehicle. When I had the Belingo, he would just do such a good job. So strongly recommended Bonchurch Garage. And yeah, he initially said he wouldn't be able to fit me in until next Thursday next week. And then he said, well, no, hang on, I can, if you bring it in today, he can have a quick look at it and then hopefully do the job tomorrow. Fingers crossed that'll happen. Either way, he's very kind. So anyway, so YouTube channel and book writing. Oh yeah, Patreon, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, join that and I'll do more face-to-face videos on there. Probably once a week, probably more frequent because I quite enjoy this video content creation. And that will be in return for a monthly contribution from subscribers to my Patreon. Here's Wheeler's Bay. Nice boats. These houses always look quite nice. I could just about cope with living in a wooden cabin like that one that's centre. Don't think anyone lives in that. I don't think it's used really. An old boathouse. Certainly cope with living in that. Just a bit big for me. Actually, the little huts here. Living in one of those would be fun. These little beach huts. Nice little cafe there. Definitely recommend going in there when you're around. The Seapots Cafe. Gosh, the battery's going rapidly running out of juice. Yeah, so do join my Patreon thingy once I've got it set up. I think what I'm going to do is Patreon and YouTube channel membership. So YouTube actually has built into it a similar thing to Patreon. But I quite like the idea of giving people the option. If I could put the same content onto YouTube, onto a YouTube membership thingy plus Patreon, then that would be ideal. And that gives people the choice. Of course, I'm still going to upload much more video content on my main channel, which everyone can watch for free in return for putting up with some adverts. Let's scan around. These chalets used to be £13,000 each in the 1990s. Now you're lucky if you can get one under 200,000. And my parents almost bought one of these little chalets for 13,000 in the 90s. They could have afforded one back in the day. Certainly have lived in one of those quite happily. That opportunity is long gone. Really need coffee now. Decaffeinated Puro coffee from Blake's Tea Hut on the beach. Go and say hello to Rusty the dog. who I've been walking and trying to comfort. He's a typical whippet puppy. Well, he's about 7 months old, but he has anxiety issues, which they tend to have when they're little. So I go there and sit on the deck. The whippet is owned by Abby, the owner of the Blake's Tea Hut. A new arrival into their family, and while she's rushing around serving coffees, I keep an eye on the little dog and keep him a bit company. He's bonded with me quite well, so he tends not to whine too much when I'm with him. Luckily, he just wants to be with Abby constantly. Bless him. No migrant birds in view at all. See a robin up there. Nice green sand outcrop with chalk on top. I say outcrop, it isn't. It's pure debris that slipped down from the undercliff as part of the massive landslip. So it's debris rather than an outcrop. And you're a pied wagtail, that's a migrant flying over. Oh no, crossbill. It's nice. Hang on, no. It's down there, it's a blooming one of the rock pipits. It's not a crossbill at all. It's one of its little subtle courtship calls that they make. I knew it didn't quite sound right for a crossbill. You do get a few crossbills going through this time of year, migrants. Or dispersers from the New Forest and Purbeck, presumably. Hope you've enjoyed this walk. What else can I say? Apart from, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and press a little like button. And if you want to support the channel with donations, there's a buymeacoffee.com link in the description below the video. Almost at the bay now. The thing that really helps the channel, apart from the donations, is to watch more of my videos. So scroll back through my backlist. I must have nearly 1,000 videos on this channel now. So if you're really bored, go and watch some of my backlist of videos. That's what generates the ad revenue. So it doesn't cost you anything apart from your time. Maybe your sanity if it's a really boring video. But YouTube splits the income they get from the advertiser. Anyway, let's stop talking about that sort of thing. Let's have a look in the harbour. Just coming up to it now. That black redstart was just down hopping around on the rocks just here. On this inner breakwater of the harbour. Nice electric van just went past. Almost there. Just went to the loo and I'm sure you didn't want to see that filmed, so I cut that bit out. God, so nice that the breeze has dropped off again. It wasn't very breezy yesterday either. But before that it was very windy. Windy but sunny is an odd combination. Much prefer it to be slightly overcast without the wind, to be honest. There's the old Mill Bay, very good pub, does nice pub food. Nice outdoor seating area there. Some little holiday lets there along the front here. Lovely view of the cars and the beach. And there's the Met, wine, tapas and coffees. And my favourite place for a cup of tea is Tony's Tea Room there at the end. There's my parking space, which obviously my car isn't there. So it's now coming up for 5 o'clock. The garage hasn't managed to look at the car yet, which is a shame. Back down in Monks Bay, I'm going to head up to the garage in a minute and pick up the car and bring it back down in the morning. Because it doesn't have any power steering, I'm not going to drive it very far. Not quite sure where I'll park overnight, but at least I'll be able to get the car back to crashing it overnight. Kind of does show the vulnerability of living in a car, doesn't it? Or in a vehicle. If it does break down, if a lot needs to be done to it, a few days in a garage, then what do you do? Go into an Airbnb or something, I suppose. But for me, I'm going to get the car and bring it back tomorrow morning, I think. Fingers crossed that whatever's wrong with it isn't too serious. And there's all the spoil that came from Ventnor Haven, dumped here at Monks Bay. Anyway, let's walk up to the garage, I think. It's the old churchyard, looking lovely as ever. It's walking up towards East Dean now. Just wandering down into Bonchurch village now. Lovely cherry blossom there. Yeah, little car's in the same place. So they didn't manage to look at it, that's a shame. Well, got my little car back and here she is, back from the garage. The problem wasn't actually diagnosed because as expected, the garage was too busy. I basically only phoned them up this morning when the power steering went, and they said, yeah, bring her in and we'll try and have a look today. If not, bring her back in tomorrow and they'll have a look tomorrow. So I'm going to take her back in tomorrow just after 7, well, probably after 7:30 in the morning, and then they can hopefully find some time tomorrow. It's pretty good though, the garage, to fit me in like that, or attempt to. Fingers crossed. And now there is some inclement weather turning up, or working its way here from the southwest. It's a bit breezy now, but it's going to get proper breezy later, so I'm going to leave it here for now. And there'll be an overnight windiness, a bit of a gale, and then I'll do some videoing of the aftermath of that tomorrow morning, hopefully. But for now, I'm going to go and sit in my car and watch a video on Amazon Prime Video. Got it downloaded onto my little computer, so that's what I'm doing this evening. What am I eating? Oh yeah, kind of a steak pie and beans. I can warm up the steak pie. I make a gravy with bovril or oxo. It'll be bovril now because I've just purchase a tub of bovril. So make some gravy up with that, mush the pie up in there, and then add baked beans, and then just heat it up on the gas. And you've got kind of a pie and beans kind of mash. Anyway, thanks for watching, and report back again tomorrow. So I hope you're enjoying this video about Ventnor and the Undercliff. If so, then don't forget there are 2 books that I've written. One, Bird Watching Around Ventnor, creatively named, and the second one is Wildlife Watching Around Ventnor. Just short books about the local area that are the subject of this video. Available on Amazon. I'll put a link below for this video, and you can also order it from the library, and it's available in all major bookshops, both of these little booklets, and in a few shops along the Esplanade, like the Longshoremen's Museum and Lady Scarlet's Tea Room as well. But yeah, I'll put a link to the description if you want a slightly deeper dive into the Isle of Wight Undercliff. Then these 2 little booklets might be of interest to you. Just go onto Amazon otherwise and just search for Steve Jones and Ventnor, and you should find them.